My mother-in-law didn't even look at my gift package at the wedding. "Poor people's gifts are worthless," she said. My husband's siblings laughed. 9 years later, when my worthless signature saved their company from bankruptcy, I met Brandon at university. We both studied business administration, but our families were very different. He was from one of Manhattan's established families. His father owned a holding company. His mother was a society lady. I was from Ohio, daughter of a modest family. At our first meeting, Brandon was very kind. "My family is a bit conservative, but don't worry. They'll love you," he had said. He was wrong. The first time he took me to his family. We went to their mansion on the Upper East Side. At the door, Victoria Henderson, my mother-in-law, greeted me. She looked me up and down. You're dressed plainly." "In our circles, people dress a bit more carefully," she said instead of hello. Brandon tried to defend me, saying, "Mom, Rachel is very beautiful," but Victoria didn't listen. When we entered, the magnificence of the house overwhelmed me. Crystal chandeliers, marble floors, antique furniture. I had grown up in a small apartment. At dinner, Brandon's siblings were also there. His older brother Tyler and sister Amber. Both examined me with condescending attitudes. "Rachel, what does your father do?" asked Victoria. "He runs a furniture workshop." "Workshop? Not a factory." Amber's voice was mocking. "A small workshop," I said, embarrassed. "I see," said Victoria, as if she understood everything. "Brandon, why couldn't you find a girl from your own circle?" Brandon insisted and convinced his family. We were going to get engaged. But Victoria reminded me at every opportunity who I was. "Rachel, at the engagement you can wear Amber's old dress. After all, you're not used to expensive dresses." "Mom, Rachel will choose her own dress," Brandon objected. "Why? Amber has dozens of unworn dresses in her wardrobe." Finally, I bought a modest dress with my own money. At the engagement, while everyone came in magnificent outfits, I looked plain. "Look, our bride-to-be is so modest," Victoria told the guests, but her tone was full of mockery. Wedding preparations were a nightmare. Victoria interfered with everything. "Rachel, how many people from your family will you add to the guest list?" "About 50 people. 50 people. 300 people are coming from our side. Your side will be too few, embarrassing." "Mom, Rachel's family is small," said Brandon. "Yes, small and modest," Victoria emphasized. The wedding day arrived. I had prepared a small gift package. A handmade photo album for Brandon, with our memories inside. I had put a lot of effort into it. Gifts were displayed in the wedding hall. Magnificent gifts from Brandon's family and friends, gold sets, expensive paintings, crystal ornaments. My package looked very plain among them. Victoria stood at the gift table, showing the gifts to guests. When she saw my package, she didn't even touch it. "Poor people's gifts are worthless," she said loudly, so everyone around could hear. Brandon's siblings laughed. Some guests smiled shyly. I just stood there. I was dying of shame. Brandon came to me but said nothing. He didn't stand up to his mother. At that moment, I understood everything. I could never be part of this family, at least not in their eyes. After we got married, we moved to a separate house, but Victoria interfered in every aspect of our lives. "Rachel, there's a family dinner this weekend, but don't come. We'll have private matters to discuss." "Mom, Rachel is also family," Brandon would say. "Yes, but she's not really one of us yet. Maybe in time. I was rarely invited to family dinners. When I was invited, I was excluded. Once at Victoria's birthday dinner. Everyone was eating from porcelain plates. They gave me a plastic plate. "Rachel, you're not used to using porcelain. It would be better if you didn't break it," said Victoria. Tyler and Amber laughed. Brandon remained silent. Again. After marriage, I started looking for work. Brandon's family was against this too. Brandon's wife doesn't need to work. "What will people think?" said Victoria, but I insisted. I started working at a small consulting firm. I did financial consulting. I was very successful at work. In the first year, I won 3 major clients. In the second year, I got promoted. Brandon's family didn't care at all. They called it Rachel's toy job. But I didn't stop. I worked day and night. I applied for an MBA and was accepted. I would study part-time. MBA? Why? You're already a married woman, said Victoria. I want to improve myself. You should improve Brandon, not yourself. While doing my MBA, I developed a business idea: financial consulting and restructuring services for small and medium-sized companies. I established my own company with small capital, ThompsonCon Consulting. My first clients were struggling companies, those about to go bankrupt. I was saving them. In my first successful project, I turned a company with $5 million debt into profit in 2 years. I started making a name. Brandon's family still didn't take it seriously. Rachel started a company. How cute, they would say mockingly. But I continued to grow. In the 3rd year, I had 10 employees. In the 5th year, 50 clients. By the 7th year, I was one of the leading firms in the sector. During this time, Brandon's family's holding company started having problems. His father, Richard, managed it with traditional methods. They couldn't modernize, couldn't keep up with change. First came small losses, then big losses. Richard got sick, handed management to Tyler. But Tyler didn't know the business. He was used to luxury living, not working. Within 2 years, the holding was in serious loss. Victoria wasn't so arrogant anymore. She looked worried at family dinners. The holding is in trouble, Brandon would say. Maybe they need professional help, I said. My family doesn't need others, Brandon still said with pride. In the 8th year, the holding was on the verge of bankruptcy. They had debts of $200 million. Banks had started foreclosure. One night, Brandon came home crying. Rachel, we're finished. The holding is going bankrupt. My father is in the hospital. Tyler is helpless. It was the first time I'd seen Brandon so broken. What can we do? I asked. I don't know. You may need to help my mother. It was ironic. I would now help the woman who had humiliated me for years. A week later, the phone rang. Victoria. Rachel, I need to talk to you. I went to the mansion on the Upper East Side. The house wasn't as magnificent as before. It looked neglected. Victoria sat in the living room. She had aged, lost her arrogance. Rachel, I have a request. For the first time, she was speaking to me in a respectful tone. I'm listening. Can you save the holding? Your company is successful. Please help us. The woman who had humiliated me for years was now asking for help. Mrs. Henderson, this is very serious business. I need to examine the situation at your holding. We'll open everything to you. Please. For 2 weeks, I examined all the holding's books. The situation was terrible. Wrong investments, inefficient management, old technology. Tyler and Amber came to my office every day asking, when will you save us? Not with their old arrogance, but with desperation. Finally, I prepared my report. I called the family to a meeting. The holding can be saved, but radical changes are needed. What kind? Asked Richard, who had left the hospital. First, management must change. Tyler is inadequate. Tyler got angry. Who are you to talk like this? I'm the only person who can save your holding, I said coldly. Second condition, the company must be restructured. Loss-making divisions must be closed. Third condition, asked Richard. 51% of the holding's shares will be transferred to me. I will be CEO. There was silence in the room. That's too much, said Victoria. Then go bankrupt, I said, standing up. Wait, said Richard. We accept. Within a month, all legal processes were completed. Now the majority share of the holding was mine. My first task was to remove Tyler from his position. Amber is also leaving management, I said. This is our family company. Tyler shouted. It's my company now, I said calmly. The second step was to build a professional team. I replaced most of the old managers. The third step was to close loss-making divisions. I sold 3 factories, closed 2 branches. Victoria called every day. Rachel, don't be so harsh. Mrs. Henderson, I'm saving your holding. If you want, watch it sink. 18 months were very difficult. I worked day and night. I restructured the debts. I convinced the banks. I found new customers. In the first 6 months, losses stopped. In the second 6 months, we reached break-even. In the third 6 months, we made profit. By the end of the 2nd year, the holding had reached profitability. Most of the debts were paid. Richard came to my office. Rachel, you worked a miracle. No, I just did my job. At the beginning of the 3rd year, I organized a family meeting. Richard, Victoria, Brandon, Tyler, and Amber were all there. The holding is now on solid foundations. Its value has increased 5-fold. Everyone was looking shocked. I'm offering you 2 options. First, I completely buy the holding. I'll buy your shares above market value. The second? Asked Richard. Second, I keep 51% share, but you can also stay as family. But professional management will continue. Victoria started crying. Rachel, we treated you very badly. Yes, you did. Will you forgive us? I'll think about forgiving. But in business, emotions are secondary. The family accepted the second option. I remained CEO, they remained shareholders. I gave Tyler a consultant position, if he could learn. I also gave Amber a chance to head a small division, but now I was making the rules. One day, Victoria came to my office. Rachel, can I talk to you? Of course, please. I made a big mistake. You weren't poor. You're a very valuable person. Mrs. Henderson, whether I'm poor or rich doesn't matter. What matters is my character and abilities. You're right. I wish I could have understood this years ago. My success was reflected in the media. I was featured in Forbes. Businesswoman of the Year, Rachel Thompson, who saved a bankrupt holding. In interviews, I told my story. How I was humiliated by my mother-in-law, then how I saved them. This isn't just revenge, I told the journalist. This is professionalism. In business, results speak, not emotions. After seeing the interview, Victoria called crying. Rachel, please don't disgrace us. Mrs. Henderson, I just told the truth. Over time, relationships began to improve. Victoria was very different now. Modest, respectful, understanding. Rachel, I'm proud of you, she said one day. Thank you. I wish I had welcomed you like this from the first day. We can't change the past, but we can fix the future. Brandon had also changed. He now defended me, could stand up to his family. Rachel, I was a very bad husband. I never defended you. Better late than never. I'm 38 years old now. I own 2 companies. My own consulting firm and my mother-in-law's, Family Holding. Their total value is $500 million. Victoria no longer calls me daughter-in-law, she says. My partner, Tyler, and Amber approach me with respect. Last week at a family dinner, while Victoria was setting the table, she put the most beautiful porcelain plates for me. These are for special guests, I said, smiling. You're not a special guest, Rachel. You're the pillar of this family. On that wedding day, Victoria had said, poor people's gifts are worthless. 9 years later, that worthless person's signature had saved their company from the brink of bankruptcy. But what was truly valuable was this. I didn't do it for revenge. I did it for professionalism. Life is strange. Sometimes those who humiliate you become those who need you most. And then you understand that real power isn't in taking revenge, but in showing you have the power to forgive. Victoria is now my biggest supporter. Rachel is our salvation angel, she tells everyone. That angel was the poor bride eating from a plastic plate. Now we sit at the same table, with the same porcelain, but with a different status. I'm now my mother-in-law's boss, and the most beautiful part of this story is that both sides won. They regained their company. I gained their respect. I share this story because I know there are many women around the world treated like poor brides. I tell them this. Don't let others' measurements determine your value. I wasn't poor. I just wasn't rich yet. And 9 years later, the girl who gave that worthless gift became their most valuable asset. Because real value is not in money, but in talent. And talent always triumphs.